Hello, sir.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Yeah, pretty good. Where are you from?
I'm from Brazil.
Nice. Muito bem.
Can you speak Portuguese?
Not really. I can speak Spanish, but
Yeah,
Portuguese, not much.
it's a little closer.
Yeah, I know some phrases.
Yeah, but have you
Yeah,
ever been in Brazil?
I have not. I do plan to though. I reckon one of my next countries will be Brazil.
Good.
Hmm. What part of Brazil are you from?
Northeast
Yeah.
in the state of Bahia.
So it's super hot where you are.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Where would you recommend in Brazil?
The major thing here is the beach. People love it, and some natural places like some national parks. We have
Mm,
one here in Bahia. We call, I'll type for you, Chapada Diamantina.
okay, I'll have a
Uh,
look. Yeah, I usually travel to like be in nature, so I think
yeah,
Brazil is a good option for that.
yes,
Especially the Amazon. I would love to go
yeah.
to.
It's
Oh, yeah,
almost
very
the same.
nice.
Yes, almost the same weather like in the Amazon, but there you have uh, it's more dense. Uh,
Yeah.
you have it's, I don't know how to say it, but it's isolated a little more.
Mm. What this Chapada Diamantina?
Yeah,
I don't know how to say this. Yeah,
Chapada Diamantina.
Chapada Diamantina.
Yes, that's right.
This I'm looking at some people swimming like in water, and it's so clear it doesn't even look like it's water.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
yes, and you can
Kind
see
of
some
reminds me
caves.
of the United States, like
Yeah,
the cliffs. Yeah,
I think I heard about it.
yeah. I'm just looking at some pictures of cliffs, and they kind of remind me of like United.
It's my connection. No, no, my connection.
Oops,
Yeah,
sorry, I just clicked the wrong button. Yeah, refresh the page.
don't worry. So, are you from the United
So I'm
States?
from Australia.
Oh,
Australia, yeah. So
so you have lots of
I don't
natural
know if you
places to go as well.
in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Australia's
you
pretty
have
pretty good, but
lots of caves to go,
mm, in
and some
Australia is
historical
so big.
cities.
So, oh,
Sorry.
in Brazil,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Historical things like what?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Now I
Okay.
can.
You said historical things.
Yeah, historical cities, and
Yeah.
in the
What?
same area.
As in like Brazil, like not Brazilian, Portuguese, like settlers. You know, or what do you mean? What's the history of these cities?
colonial,
Yeah,
colonial cities, lots of them in this area, uh,
yeah.
and in the state of Minas Gerais as well. If you
Hmm.
want to go there, you don't have beach there, but you have lots of historical cities to go. Like I'll type another one to you.
Hmm. So many places. Brazil's such a big country. There must be like
Yes,
impossible to see everything.
yes, you have lots of options to
Yeah.
explore.
Is it expensive to get flights like within the country, like domestic flights?
Yes, some people say that it's cheaper to go abroad than travel to other places inside the country.
Ah, really? That's kind of sad.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah, because the last thing I want if I'm going all the way from Australia to Brazil, which is a expensive flight, that's a long distance, is I get there
but
and then I
I
have to pay for more flights.
but I think your currency is better than Brazilian one.
Sorry?
I think your currency it's better
It is,
than
it
the
is.
Brazilian. So
It still
it's
hurts.
yeah,
It's the same in Australia, like come to Australia, but then even within Australia, you're probably going to have to fly,
yeah,
uh, unless you do a really long road trip. You know, you'll be driving
yes.
for many,
I,
many
I heard
hours.
I heard something that you need 30 years to walk all the beaches in Australia, something like that.
30 years?
Yes,
Oh, really? Yeah, well, we have lots of beaches because we're an island, so the coastline is really long.
I think it's the largest coastline. I don't know.
Hmm. I've heard people talk about the largest coastline, but then they basically said there's no way of properly knowing um, who has the largest coastline because it depends how detailed you measure it. So if you measure every little corner and turn, you know, but if you zoom out, it's more of like a straight line.
Yeah,
But if you go zoom in, it's like all these inlets. Do you count like all of the little inlets, or do you just count the general shape of the country?
yes. If you look in the map, you think that like Russia has the largest, but if you
Hmm.
look in this aspect, Australia tends to be more.
I think it could be like Canada or something, because Canada is massive, but it also has so many like islands and stuff. If you look at the map, you can
Yeah,
see how crazy it gets. Yeah, I'm gonna search this up. But yeah, this place looks really nice.
yes.
Um, which
Black
country?
gold in English, black gold, but we call ouro preto.
Oh, is that what it means?
Yeah,
Black gold, nice.
I think the black is
Let's,
because there's slavery, and the gold because they explored this there, something like that.
it looks like I was right. Canada. Two,
200,000.
202,000 kilometers. Let's see who's like second and stuff. But Canada's beaches will
How
be
about
horrible,
this?
so I mean,
Yeah, that's the problem there. I have a cousin who lives in Vancouver, and
yeah,
they almost never go there. It's very wide.
yeah. I met a guy from Vancouver actually. Oh, look, Norway as well. See, Norway would be there because they've got all the fjords, you know, have you heard of that?
Yeah,
So like they have those like
Norway.
rivers that go into the like that's all jagged like this.
Yeah,
It's not just like one straight line. There's all of these little inlets and stuff.
I didn't know this
And
that
in
he is on the
Indonesia
top.
has like 1,000 islands, so that makes sense as well.
Yeah,
Sorry? Canada, that's mad though, because that's what, 10 times the amount of Australia. 10 times the
I'm
coastline.
a little surprised. Yes.
And the Philippines. It's quite funny because I'm in the Philippines right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
just on
I think it was
holiday.
in Australia. Yeah. Ah, okay. Very
Yeah,
good. And it's closer.
yeah, I'm
It's
usually.
close.
Yeah, Philippines isn't too far from Australia. That's one of the reasons I came here because yeah, it's not too expensive to get to. It's not too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, so nice.
A few days ago, I talked to a teacher. He is in Thailand or in the Philippines. I don't know, but she is
Yeah,
in this area. She is from Ireland, and she travel a lot in this
Uh,
region. And she said that's very inexpensive.
Philippines.
Oh, Thailand, I don't remember.
That is expensive or inexpensive?
Inexpensive, inexpensive.
Oh, yeah, okay. That makes sense. I was gonna say, what? In what world is Thailand expensive? Uh,
Yeah.
but
If you want something
yeah, that's
expensive, you have to go to Europe, something like that.
yeah, or Australia.
And
Yeah,
and
so
Australia will hold the next Olympic Games, 32.
oh really?
Yes, in Brisbane.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
it's the capital of
Maybe I should
Queensland,
go to it.
right? I don't know, something like that. It's in Brisbane.
Yeah, Queensland.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's yeah. Wow, maybe I should
yeah,
go.
yeah. It'll be a big one.
Because don't they discount the tickets for the home country?
Yeah,
Yeah,
2024
because you
Paris,
recently had it in
2028.
Rio.
It was difficult here to go there because it's very expensive.
Yeah, I know. Did you know I actually had tickets to the Japan one? I was going to Japan. I had like the trip booked, and I had tickets to go to a basketball match in the
Yeah,
Olympics. And
really?
well, yeah, COVID-19, remember? So
Yeah,
it was cancelled. I couldn't go. So yeah, it's
you have
unfortunate.
to wait 10 years to another opportunity in your country. But you have the option to go to
Unless
Paris,
I go,
to Paris or
yeah. So,
Los Angeles.
so Los
Los
Angeles is
Angeles.
2028,
Yes,
and then 2032 is Brisbane.
yeah,
Wow, that's funny. I didn't even know.
yeah,
It kind of makes sense though, because we had the Commonwealth Games, which you
yeah,
know the Commonwealth, what
yeah,
that is. Yeah,
yes.
we had that in Brisbane like a few years ago. So I guess they've already got like kind of the facilities there. They probably just need to upgrade them a bit for like a larger audience, and then yeah,
And interesting because 2012 it was in London. Then 12, 20 years later you have in another Commonwealth country. Interesting.
yeah. Well, we had it in Sydney in 2000 when I was 5 years old.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's two times
uh,
in 32 years. That's quite, yeah,
some people will not
considering
see this.
all.
Some people won't see
Mm,
this. See your country hold two Olympic Games.
yeah, that's big, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, there's only limited countries that can do it, right? I heard in Brazil, a lot of people were like, "What the fuck? Why are we holding the Olympics?" Because it's so expensive, and why don't
Yes,
you spend this on the people instead of us? So on
and
us
and
instead
and
of
yes, in that time the government held two big events. 20, 2040 we have the World Cup, and then we had 2 years later
yeah,
we had the Olympic Games. So it was a little uh, expensive for the government to plan this.
yeah,
And interesting because there are
and
some projects that was needed to that moment that still wasn't inaugurated today.
yeah. And I know they've got
Like
like
some,
stadiums in Rio that what they built just for the
yes, and
Olympics, and then they're abandoned now.
no stadium, but some hotels and transportation, like train and something like that.
What, they were built
They,
just for the Olympics, and then they weren't ever used again.
they no, they started and then they just not completed. I don't know where
Mm.
the money goes, and then you're until
Ah,
today without this thing.
I see, I see.
And you
Yeah, it's
know
pretty
that Brazil
crazy.
has some problems with corruption and the government, so you know that something
Yeah.
beside this.
Oh, where did the money go? I'm not sure where it went.
Yes,
Just
but,
it was there a moment ago, but yeah,
and I think in your home country it's a little different because I don't know, it's in terms of culture and you have the
mm,
I know it's different. The structure of your government is different from my country because we have a king and the parliamentary system is a little different. And I don't know.
yeah. I feel like
It
it's
is
better, it's
until
different, but it's changing, I think, in Australia. I think they're becoming
yeah.
more corrupt than they used to be. The only thing is,
Why is
it's
that?
Australia's. I'm not sure why, but I've
Yeah.
noticed over like the course of my life the change in like maybe it's just because I've gotten older, but I've talked to my parents and all people older than me, and they all think that the politicians are getting worse. Like back in the day, you could more or less trust them to some extent, but now you cannot trust them at all. They will they will sell
Uh,
Australia out for the right price. You know.
yeah. And I think this has happened all over the world. So it's not
Mm,
only in your country.
yeah. But yeah, so and no one trusts the media anymore because they realize how
Yes.
much they're being lied to. You know, yeah.
You have the same
So
problem here in Brazil. They tend to promote something side this the political aspect and change the way that how they know. Hey, they explain you the news and what has
Yeah,
happened. They put a political perspective above
yeah,
the
exactly.
information, so it's kind of
But they
problem.
don't
And
even try and pretend that they're,
yeah, that's right.
impartial. They blatantly say this is
If you
how it is and this is what you should believe.
yes, if you have some knowledge of something, you can see it. It's difficult for the
Yeah,
people who did study or have any contact with some political content. I don't know.
yeah.
So it's easy
Even
for them to
online,
manipulate.
yeah,
Yeah,
if I see someone with a perspective that, talks about both sides and like says this is, why these people think this is why these people think that. If they give like a perspective that isn't all just one side, I'm like 100 times more likely to believe what they're saying, just
yeah.
because they're not. It's not obviously trying to convince me to believe one thing.
And when they can change the news to put their perspective, they tends to reduce the time talking about that, or even don't show to the people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's how it is these days. And I heard also like people say because no one's watching TV anymore, they also have to make normal like mainstream television, or the news more scary, and they need to get people looking at it because the viewership is down so much because people would rather just be on the internet or on
Yes,
YouTube or some other platform
yes, they
instead of
using the
watching the news on the TV. Like only old people watch news on the TV now.
yes, they tends to be informative from the social media, and I don't know. You sometimes you maybe see some fake news, and you have to be concerned about this. You have to look carefully for some
Yeah.
news and check. You can use both me both things, the traditional one and the social media, to see that the news is how it is and create it your own interpretation. The problem is this because people don't try to interpret. They just observe in that way.
Mm.
Just
I
receive and
saw an.
accept how it is.
Mm. Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
ask don't ask why, when, how.
Yeah, they never ask
No,
why.
yeah,
Yeah, they don't care. They read the headline and go, "Oh, I believe this."
they don't
It's so
read
bad.
the old news. Old news, yes.
Yeah,
It's a
exactly.
lazy
That's like
generation,
they're so lazy. They just want to know what to believe. Like, tell me what to believe. It's easier for me if you just tell me instead of me having to figure it out.
and they say I don't care about this.
Yeah. But why is the best question you can ask, because then you realize how, you know, if they have anything behind that, if they claim something and you ask why and they don't know how to explain why, then you can just disregard what they just said because, they've obviously
Yes,
haven't put any thought into it, you know. They're just believing what people are telling them.
it's a problem because the people who think a little more uh, is going to dominate it, politics in other areas, and this
Mm,
mass of people who don't think about anything is going to behind, and it's a problem for the future because companies, governments, and other things looks for people who think beyond. Uh, you don't need to do this only task. You have to be able to do more than one thing and think about very situations at the same time.
Mm,
So you have to use your mind, you exercise your mind. You
yeah.
need it to be successful. I don't know.
I feel like that's why the cancel culture is a thing. I don't know if you've heard of, people getting like cancelled and stuff, like censored, because like if the government or whatever has a perspective, but they don't want anyone to question it, and they know that they're not going to win any debate with any smart person, they'd rather just censor them and make sure no one hears their perspective. Um,
Yes,
and that's how they win. They just don't let anybody who disagrees with them talk.
yes. And some country
Yeah.
put this in the institution in the government and do this. Uh, some very uh, large countries do this.
Hmm.
It's not
Like
just
what?
be
You mean,
sorry.
you mean like freedom of speech?
That's right.
Yeah.
It's not something between uh, people. It's some country is something institutionally prepared.
Yeah. I think every country needs that. Like, that's probably the most important thing ever is like freedom of speech. Like, if you can't say what you think, then you have zero freedom at all, right?
Yes, you don't live in that country. You just survive if you don't have a
Yeah.
voice to speak what you think about something and have option that listen to you.
But you can see in Australia and other Western countries, they're trying to get rid of freedom of speech because they're like introducing things such as like hate speech and stuff. Like, oh, if you say something we consider hateful, then that's against the
Yes,
law and you can go to jail. But
yes,
then
they
you ask them, like, well, who decides what is offensive? You? So if the government decides what is offensive, they'll say anything that you say against the government is offensive, and you'll go to jail. Like,
yes. It's like the government is the people. Otherwise,
yeah,
you have to speak in favor of the system. And
yeah,
but the truth is, the government needs to serve the people. Try to
exactly.
be the people because they
That's not
are not.
happening anymore. Even in the good countries and the rich countries, that's not
Yes,
happening anymore. Yeah.
yes,
So that's why I'm saying it's getting worse in Australia because the government
and
is not serving. Yeah,
every country you see this,
every.
and some figures try to be candidates and break this from inside the system, and sometimes they are cancelled. And the
Yeah,
worst way,
exactly.
tries
The worst
to
way.
go to prison. Yes,
Yeah, exactly. Just disappear.
yeah,
Yeah. I'm worried about when it gets to that stage in Australia. But yeah, I just think we're coming from a good place. We're going the wrong direction. We're still better than like most of the world, but like, yeah, we're not going in the right direction.
no,
And Australians are way more accepting of this than I ever would have thought they would be. When I was a
yeah,
kid, I thought Australians were like, they would not like tolerate the government like fucking with them. But
that's right.
I
Now it's
think
different.
during COVID, I realized they don't care.
You have to accept now by the force of the government, by the security and law enforcement, and something like that. So
Very
Thank you so
sad.
much for your
Thank
class.
you.
Hope to see you.
Obrigado.
De nada.
Nice. Bye.